Drawing clothes can be so much fun, right? But sometimes things just don't feel quite right. Especially when the character is at an angle or when there are lots of frills and accessories. Hi everyone, it's your Japanese art loving friend Mina. Today, I'm going to show you a technique I personally use when drawing more complex outfits. You might already know some of them, but I hope this video can help someone out, even if just a little. Alright, are you ready? Let's get started. When you're drawing a character at an angle with a complex outfit, the first step is to prepare your character in their base and dressed form. Next, I draw the main structural lines of the outfit. For example, this character is wearing a dress with lots of frills, so I'm starting by sketching the lines that show where the frills begin. The thing about frills is that they always have a starting point, and if you don't know where that point is, it becomes super hard to draw them, at least for me. Another thing I do, since I still find it tricky to visualize the three-dimensional shape of legs in my head, is to draw a guideline to help me think about how the curves should walk. I only added the line to the legs, but honestly, you can apply these 3D lines to the entire body, around the chest, waist, and shoulders too. It helps make the character instantly more three-dimensional. So I highly recommend it. Okay, let's talk about the skirt for a moment. The hem of a skirt doesn't need much attention when the character is standing. But if the character is sitting or the skirt is affected by gravity, the way it follows the leg is super important for showing texture and material. In this case, the skirt is not too heavy, not too light, and it's not too tight. For a regular skirt like the one I'm drawing now, it's important to sketch lines that show how it follows the shape of the legs before it flares out the hem. This makes it much easier to understand when you start drawing. It's also helpful to sketch out small details and accessories ahead of time like this. Once the basic sketch is done, I start drawing the actual outfit. Like I mentioned before, this line marks where the frills begin, so I'm following that to draw them. Here, I didn't follow the guidelines and check it out. Look at the breast on the left side. It looks really weird, right? It almost feels like the breast is going to pop out of the clothing. This is why I drew guidelines on the base character first. Maybe this doesn't happen to traditional artists as much, but digital artists often zoom in while drawing. When you zoom in, it's easy to lose sight of the overall balance, which makes it hard to get things right. So when drawing something complex or when the character is at an angle, it's really important to have those guidelines. When it comes to frills, I usually draw them roughly at first and then adjust later. I'm making them a bit uneven to give a hand-drawn feel, which I think looks nicer. By the way, this character isn't my original character. I was commissioned to draw them, so thank you so much for the request. The outfit and the color scheme are super cute, and I had so much fun drawing it. Oh, right, I almost forgot to mention something very important. When you're drawing the lines of the clothing, it's a good idea to also draw the center line of the body, especially with characters at an angle or those with lots of accessories. Adding the center line helps a lot. I often draw not just the center line of the body, but also the center lines of the arms and the legs. Here I made a mistake. The straps were supposed to go over the shoulders, not around the neck. So I'm fixing that now. When drawing clothes that rest on the shoulders, remember that shoulder and flank. They have thickness, so the clothes should show that. I drew a good and bad example. You can see the difference. The bad one makes the shoulder look flat or something triangle. Okay, we're almost done now, so it's just about refining the details. When it comes to frills, these little finer adjustments are crucial, I think. After finishing, take a step back and check the balance. As I said before, you don't want anything to be too simple or uniform, because that gets boring. Adding movement to the frills like I'm doing here makes it more interesting. I took a break and come back to look at my drawing the next day. I noticed a part that felt off. There was something really unnatural, so I'm fixing it now. Taking a break and looking at your work with fresh eyes is really important. I always do it. These frills here look like they're drawn from the front view, but actually the character is facing slightly up and to the right. So the angle of the frills should reflect that. Now, let's check the whole body together at the end. Does the neck have a sense of depth? The side parts of the stripes should curve along the breast, so make sure to think about that too. I also noticed that the angle of the zipper around the waist wasn't quite right, so I fixed it. Let's also check if the frills look too uniform, and whether the direction and angle of the frills appear natural. I won't go into coloring this time, but I have a video on how to draw wrinkles on clothing form before. And there are also some art process videos, so if you're interested, please check them out. I know this turned out a bit long, but basically, here's the process. Start with the bare body, sketch the clothes, add a central line, then step back, take a break, and make final adjustment. Drawing clothes can be so much fun, so I hope you all enjoy it. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you so much to everyone who likes and comments. I really appreciate it. I love to hear from you. So feel free to engage. Okay, see you next week, I hope. Bye bye. Have a great drawing day.